こんな世界だからこそ全部夢を追わなきゃ。僕も仲間も。
Hey everyone, Ink here, Sabin versus the devs. This is like the 8th or 9th Lufania Plus with him. Man, this run was so damn hard. It was crazy hard. And it's because it required some really tight strategy. So I'm gonna break this in, so if you wanna jump to a section of the video, feel free to hit the description. But I'm gonna be talking about the strategy for this team comp, and I'll talk about each character, focusing a lot on specifically Shelke and how much I'm really enjoying using her, so there'll be a special section for Shelke Hype, and then I'll probably talk about just a little bit more about the greens, and why I don't have any, and I haven't been running any green characters, and then I will give my own like limited knowledge take on C90 and force weapons and that stuff, from a completely like I haven't been paying attention perspective. So yeah, anyway, this was so hard because it required truly, like, the level is sort of unforgiving. There were points where I got really close, but I didn't play the orb close enough, and so you've got 3 orb boosts with Shelke, and then you've got generally 2 with Agrius. If you bring Reigns, then he probably, or Tifa or something, then I guess you could probably burn down the sweeper, and you could use all 3 of Agrius's LDs, oh man, so like Warrior of Light Call saves me from the first attack, and Jack and Kurasame boost my damage, but Shelke and the Cloud of Darkness friend do a huge amount of damage, like just epic proportions. Agrius is obviously confusing the boss, and Sabin gives so much breathing room, and there's no better Sabin move than an instant turn Sabin move, like an instant turn Aura Cannon. But this team worked so well together. But given that I had no BT and I have limited synergy with Shelke, by the way, I'm like super impressed with Shelke, the fact that she was capping throughout the fight. Yes, I have great calls up, but you look at a lot of other characters and they don't always cap. They need a lot of support or green character. Shelke's got pretty minimal support with just Agrius and the calls. That's all she's got. So I was pretty impressed. I don't know why people are bringing Ifrit to this fight. I was looking on Call to Arms, and so many people are bringing Ifrit. Do you understand, at 79%, they buff 200% defense. So you boosting your attack, which, I don't know, let's arguably say that with all your buffs and all of that, all in, your attack is like 20k. Their defense is skyrocketing. It's their defense is what, 30k plus 200%. It's 90k. You'd rather take 15% off the top than give yourself 30% on a piddly little number like your attack. But anyway, this fight was definitely tough. I wanted to maximize the amount of turn spam that I could get with Shelke. And also make sure that COD could deal the most amount of damage possible. So I wanted to swap COD in for Sabin. Sabin gives a ton of breathing room at the front. He's obviously all this time, he's not support reliant, so he doesn't give a crap. He's out of synergy and he's capping for the entire fight, which just like truly shows just how nuts his modifiers are, and how good ignore defense is. I had to speed this video up because it was 40 minutes long. But look at how much damage this COD BT Plus is doing. This is absurd. I watched other people's videos, and they were dealing like half or a quarter of that damage, and it's all because I brought COD in when the boss was still above 80%, so it didn't have that dumb 200 or 300% defense modifier. So I got a ton of value out of COD Friend, and I've got Agrius's Kurasame LD call up, so it really worked. But what I was doing here, weaving in Shelke and Cloud of Darkness, there's a point when I let Shelke's overhead fall off, it's right here, pisses me off. I shouldn't have done it, and I was watching the video back, and I was like, man, no wonder, like, I was getting messed up. But it's cool because Shelke's free turn from her overhead, it triggers over Cod breaking. So if Shelke had her overhead there, she probably would have taken the turn back. Just dodged a sneeze. Or you all dodged a sneeze. I got hit by the sneeze. But it's awesome how Cod can break and Shelke can sort of override and just keep pounding the boss. So I wanted to overlap Shelke's first LD use with Cod coming out, because now Shelke can go nuts. I saved all of her first AAs specifically for Cod, so that I got sort of 2 overlaps of skill spamming. So yeah, like Cod just got a break and Shelke still gets the turn. The important thing with Shelke is to look at the top of the screen, and if you see after Shelke takes a turn, if you see right here, extra turn from Shelke the Transparent, then you know that she's on her free turn, and you're going to need to use your AA to have the instant turn rate to unlock it. And that happens a bunch in this run where I had to constantly pay attention to the top. I wish that there was a visual indicator, because that would make Shelke so much more fun to play and so much easier to play, that you could just look at the top and know whether she had a free turn. Maybe there's an aura around her or something that I missed, but anyway, she's awesome. And Cod isn't around here forever. Cod deals a huge amount of damage, but Sabin comes back and he's able to contribute way more damage than Agrius. He's doing the pseudo delay. A lot of people use Quistis for this, and Sabin sort of fills a similar role, having that 2-turn delay, but it's AoE. So he was a little bit more, in a way, a little bit more consistent than Quistis, and he's dealing a lot more damage. Obviously, he's not bringing the auras that Quistis has, but Sabin did his job here. It was fantastic. I tried this team comp like 7 or 8 times, and to finally get it was hype as hell. I was so excited. If it wasn't a 40 fucking minute run, I would have just left the battle commentary. That was what I was intending. But I take a long time. Like, this is sped up 2.5 times, and you can see how long I'm thinking about different turns. So like Sabin's here. Sabin basically missed 40% of the fight. And he's going to carry home the other 40%. Obviously, Shelke is doing a lot, and Shelke and Agrius are upkeeping the orb. But anyway, Shelke, she's so much fun to play. Like, I can't stress it enough that, like, her gameplay itself, it's very rewarding for playing her well, of, like, paying attention to her buffs and her overhead, and when she has a free turn and when she doesn't, and weaving in your friend unit. And, obviously, she's really popular with Kayn. When Kayn came out, there were a bunch of Shelke runs where Shelke just took as many turns as possible and abused Kayn's gimmick of like attacking from above. So this was a lot of fun, and I gotta say, like, Shelke is way more fun than I thought she was gonna be. Just very satisfying animations. I feel like she is the consecutive turn taker done right. She's not like Terra, where Terra is going to spam one skill. She's not like Lightning, where it's excessively difficult to complex and she unpredictably turn jumps. She's improved over... Ultimisha, I would say, is also done right, but Ulti burns her skills too quick, so Shelke having an LD that replenishes her to quest start is actually like a fixed version of Ultimisha's kit. And on top of it, her overhead is done so right versus, like, you look at Sayador. So I feel like Shelke is a very good example of them designing a character really, really well. And by the way, this is her theme song from Dirge of Cerberus. It was hard for me to find music that I actually wanted for the video. Anyway, I haven't chosen to green anybody yet. I talked about this in my last video, but my last video was like super down. It was like sort of a bummer because I was rushing through it. So this is less of a bummer. But I haven't greened anybody because I just don't feel the pull. They're rare resources, and it's not like I'm hoarding them for like hoarding's sake. It's because I want to make sure that I get all my favorites, and because I run Sabin everywhere and I have so much fun with Sabin, I'm just genuinely not sure whether I'm going to use that green. If I'm going to like green a character, I want to use them a bunch. Obviously, a lot of you are getting use out of Ace, and some people are currently, they're enjoying Vayne while he's synergy, but their Ace and Bartz and Y'shtola are getting used constantly. I saw a lot of Zidane runs. People are loving their greens, and I get it, but those are like their favorites, or they're enjoying that, and I don't know that I'll enjoy it as much. Like, I did not expect to do an LD only run of this fight. It was crazy hard, and I looked at other runs and they used Vayne or Reigns. So like it was one of those two that they like sliced in. And obviously I didn't want to use Reigns here. I don't know. Maybe like Reigns, Sabin, Agrius could have done it. But I don't know. I wanted to have fun with the new character, right? So why not? I'm deciding whether I want to like green Cloud of Darkness, because I had a lot of fun with Cloud of Darkness, but then I would want to buy the costume because I hate the base costume so much. So I might green COD. The other option is to like go token Ace or Garland and green one of them, because most likely I'm going to gem. Well, I'm definitely gemming Shadow, and I will probably look to pity Jex BT on that banner. That's just good value. So I'll probably do that. And that means that my BT tokens are sort of freed up. And I could grab Ace or Garland. I just don't know which one I want and whether I would like COD, have more fun with COD. I think it's hard to quantify how much fun you're going to have with a character, even when they're your favorite. Like, I love Quistis and I'm not using her, right? Because the role coverage is too limited with Sabin, whereas Agrius provides more control. She pairs really nicely with Sabin. I've been using her so much because not only is she great for these fights, but even before this, I was always using Agrius because her Brave Gain Up pairs really well and her Disablement pairs nicely with Sabin. So, yeah, Quistis, obviously she has turn delay and stuff, and that might work, but yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely enjoying Agrius. Has like got a unique gameplay aspect to her that I really enjoy. Anyway, so C90 stuff, like I'll shout out Blind Eye, who always pings me and he's like, yo, Hype, look at all these Brave dumps that Orin gets, and like look at this character and they're dealing like 5 million damage on just the EX and stuff like that, and it's like, man, I've got no gauge anymore for what makes a good team and such. Like, you obviously want some supportive qualities and stuff, but I think we really need to see how the Shinryu difficulty works out before we can judge anything. Obviously, from what I heard from a lot of people, garbage time in JP, like fights were just getting rolled over. You watch videos and JP videos were like 6 minutes long, like just super quick fight because you just pop all your BT pluses and you just slam the boss, and the C90s are all great. And I don't buy this whole bullshit about, oh, they've got a bright C90 future. Like, everybody has a fucking bright C90 future. Like, what does that matter? Like, if it's your favorite, then that's awesome because you're going to use them. But when it comes to you pulling a character and saying like, oh, they're going to be good in C90, what are you going to do when you have 50 great characters to choose from? Are you going to pick that one person that's C90? You might use them when they're synergy, but are you going to use them ever again? Is that really worth pulling because they have a good C90? Like, that doesn't, I don't buy that. That's nonsense to me. So from a force weapon perspective, it seems like people are able to do it without force, but force has a lot of like really strong qualities that will help to counter Shinryu. So I think that's good. And the fact they made it the same rate as LD, I think is great. We needed a new weapon. They didn't make it rarer than a BT weapon or anything like that. It's obviously, I think it's a more expensive pity, I think. But the rates of pulling is pretty accurate. And I don't know about all of you, like I've ticketed just endless amounts of LDs at this point because they shovel tickets like down, like just so many tickets. Kate and Shelke both took over 400 for me, I think, or over 300. So I'm a little low, but you got to realize I don't have tickets in my box anymore, but I emptied those, but I still have tickets from like freaking Ultimate Ramu and stuff like that. Like, I'm probably capped on tickets if I go claim my summon boards. But there's just no reason to claim them now. So, anyway, like, I would say hold off in JP before you go crazy. If your favorite gets good, excellent. That means that you are going to have a lot of fun with your favorite. But if it's just some character that you've got, and you're like, they're going to be great at C90, consider that if this is not going to be like right now where probably there's maybe like 15 to 20 characters that are absolutely excellent, that are really strong, and you see them all over the place, like Reigns and Agrius and all the BT pluses across the board, all of that, right? Sure, that's cool. But imagine when you have 50 of them, you're not really going to use that character. So anyway, I'm going to try and join for the TCC post show tonight. That should be fun. So I hope you all have enjoyed this run. I got to finish with a Phantom Rush. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the commentary as well. And I will talk to you soon. By the way, arts are overrated. Take care, everyone. Bye.